Hello, Janice.
Hi, Kelly. Today we're going to, on LifeTalk, we are going to do technique number 10.
Yep.
And actually, I'm not going to do it. Kelly's going to do it. And it's about getting into flow state. I mean, that's not the exact name of it, but
Actually close, entering the flow state.
entering flow state. Okay. And that's technique number 10. So we only have a few more left till we've got this whole thing strung together.
Yes.
And so tell me about flow state.
Okay. So what he talks about the flow state, it should be effortless. And like we've talked about in the past, how our ego gets in the way, trying to dictate reality. And so he's basically saying, stop giving obstacles the energy and make your plan, make the goal, and then let the flow happen. And it's so essentially, it's kind of opening the window to all possibilities instead of identifying how it will happen. Just a second.
Bless your heart.
Sorry, like I've shared, I'm getting over a cold from my granddaughter. I think it's bronchitis, and we also had COVID. So, yes. So he talks about how the flow state is a channel of communication. It's kind of your entire system's communication. We talked about earlier about
Alignment.
Alignment. Yeah.
Okay.
The communication between your heart and your brain. And
Yep.
it's like the whole system communicating. So he talks about setting goals that are challenging and inspiring, and then letting the flow state happen to where they just manifest instead of you trying to define how they happen.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I don't want to
No, go ahead.
What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that this is not a identify it and kick back and put your feet up kind of thing.
No, and I don't think any of manifesting is. It's not.
But I don't want anybody to get the idea that that's what getting in the flow is.
Right. And so if we talk about it's that channel of communication, it's actively listening to your subconscious mind, to your heart, to bring about the present, being fully present in the moment and listening to your heart.
Okay. So it's like back in the other technique of where he talks about aligning your heart and your brain, because they are connected and communicate to each other. Back in intuition, that's what he's talking about. Okay. All right.
And like we've talked about earlier, about your subconscious mind is your supercomputer. It has recorded every single thing about you from third trimester pregnancy to present day. And it is your friend, and it wants the best for you. So when you're in that flow state, you're allowing your subconscious mind to bring things to you. And kind of how I share that with clients is your subconscious mind doesn't know anything about the past or anything about the future. It's present moment only. And so when your subconscious mind takes every word and every thought as a request to make those things happen in your life.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I read a deal about a lighthouse.
Okay.
That your mind, your subconscious and your mind work together. Mm-hmm. Your heart. So in this sense, it would be your heart and your subconscious work together, your brain. And he talks about when you're sleeping, that if you set the intention before you go to sleep,
right?
Okay, that you'll come up with a new awareness or new insight when you wake up.
Correct. And so when we go conscious, and your conscious mind is the part that's making the plan, but then you have to step out of the way for how it's going to show up.
Okay.
And that's where it talks about when we get in a state of worrying, that's the ego. When we are trying to figure out the components of the plan, that's our ego. And we have to get out of our ego. We have to let our brain and our heart, our subconscious mind and our heart make this happen without our input. Consciously make the plan
Yeah.
and then
But
get
then
out of the
step
way.
away from it.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to ask you, how do you do that? Or can you do? I mean, have you ever done that? How do you do that?
You know, I think the greatest or a really good example is Jim Carrey. When he, I don't know if
Oh, the check thing. Yeah.
when he came to Hollywood, he would go sit up, he would drive up to the Hollywood sign, and that's where he would use his intention of this is what I want my life to be. I want, and I don't know if it's 10 million, $20 million that he wanted to make in a movie. Wrote himself a check, put it in his pocket, and then he went to work. He didn't just sit on his couch and do nothing. He went to work and continued doing what he knew to do.
Mhm.
And it was really interesting that he got a movie deal for that amount of money like a week before the date on the check.
Oh, I didn't know that part. Yeah. Okay.
So how would that look in your life?
Hmm. Well, I think the way it has looked is meeting you for lunch,
Mm,
had the intention of one of these days I'll come out of that group practice. I met you for lunch, and then a day or two later, you make the invitation for me to join you in your suite,
mhm,
which didn't mean we were in business together, but it meant that we were sharing, we were in the same space, so to speak. Our offices were in the same space. And letting go of how that was going to take place, how that was going to happen,
mhm.
because it didn't happen in any way like the plan was.
Sure. And
So,
on my part, I had invited you to my office where I had, and we were going to be moving. And so I wanted to show you the possibility of what the private practice looked like.
oh
And
yeah, I did do that too. I came and looked at your, yep.
yes, yeah, and I had a really, I mean, I had a pretty stellar office.
Yeah, you did.
And then I manifested my car. I
Mhm.
made a plan for the car and then got out of the way. And then about 6 months later, I was able to get that car. So I didn't put any thought into how I'm going to make that happen. I just made the plan, designed what I wanted, and then moved out of the way. And I parked that car intentionally at the front door. So when you came
Oh,
out of
that's
that,
right.
so that's what you would see. And you're like, is that your car? And I drive a nice car. And I was like, yeah, this is private practice.
Yeah, because what I knew you to be driving before this car.
Clunker.
Well,
Close to
you
nearly.
had it for a long time.
I had, yeah. And so, yeah, that was that. I wanted to plant that little seed of,
It was a hook.
yeah, of possibility of being able to open the communication to see what's there.
Yep. Yep.
So that's that entering the flow state. Create, decide, and then let it happen.
Yep.
Because I can guarantee you, I know, strong word. Your subconscious mind knows the best way to make these things show up in your life far superior than your ego could ever make it happen.
Right. Right.
And why block the possibility of the best thing happening?
I don't want to block that at all.
Right. Yeah. So you want to enter the flow state.
Yep. Okay. So that's technique number 10.
10. Yep. So we have 5 more to cover. And we will
Mhm.
do that in the
Okay.
next recording. So
But like and subscribe before you leave.
yeah.
The
And
Life
put in comments below if there's anything particular you want us to talk about. We're absolutely willing to do that. We may already know about it, and we're also willing to do the legwork to find out how to present it in the easiest way possible.
Sure.
So hit like and subscribe. We'll see you
Okay.
next
See
time.
you later. Bye.
Bye.